quick recap. So we're here talking around how we leverage technology for environmental impact. So I would just like to set the scene. We've heard on the main stage and during the panel discussions that now we need to look at what the legislation is coming down, the government requirements, and overall environmental social responsibility. So we have in FY24, if your organization is listed on the Thailand Stock Exchange, you may already know you're reporting on your scope 1 and 2 carbon emissions. You either have to comply with that reporting requirement or explain why not. Now, in FY25, the Thai government is also introducing a carbon tax. Okay? Now, this is only applying initially to oil organizations, but it will further expand to the remaining industries in the coming future. Now, in FY26, the European Union is introducing a carbon adjustment border mechanism. So who is familiar with CBAM? Raise your hands. Anyone heard of this before? Yes? One? Okay. So let me explain for those that don't know. It's essentially if you're wanting to import or provide any products into the EU and those countries, essentially it will be almost added essentially like a tariff, where the more carbon emissions that are provided off the back of your production process or manufacturing will actually increase the tariff that you will have to pay to import into that country. The more you reduce it, this lessens down. So with that, it's my pleasure to talk through a fully integrated solution across this experience track and how we can first look at, on the first station here, how we leverage insights on human behavior and what impact that has on the environment using our AI social digital twin. Secondly, how we analyze vast amounts of data across a siloed organization using a data intelligence platform. And then lastly, how you only store the data that you need so you can reduce your storage footprint and your overall power consumption. Now, we'll do that screen by screen just to give you an experience on how we're breaking down a fully integrated AI solution and the building blocks to make that possible. Now, I will have quickly, first raise your hands. Who has heard of the term a digital twin before? Digital twin? No? Okay. So a digital twin is essentially a virtual replication of a physical world. So you can then implement certain changes within that virtual world and understand what the real potential flow-on impacts are for your real life scenario. Now, let's look at that in terms of how we evolve and take into a multi-layer consideration with social, behavioral, and environmental economics. So I'd like to just quickly introduce a social digital twin. So as I mentioned, it's having a multi-layer and putting in many different other components so you can have a bigger array of digital rehearsals or scenario-based driven understanding and simulations to understand the full realm of implications on any adjustments to your overall business process, release into the environment, and how that has a flow-on effect. Now, let's take an application use case on how we would apply the social digital twin in a Thai context, right? So let's say we have a logistics organization. Now, we are wanting to see twofold, how we can first improve the delivery optimization route. So from one delivery to the next, how we can be more efficient at that, which will save us money. But secondly, how we can actually reduce the CO2 emissions based on that routing. Right? So by using a digital rehearsal with the social digital twin, you're able to then look at what the potential CO2 outputs would be for the most effective route, what convenience that is, the cost reduction, and any other variables you want to contribute into that model. Now, that's a theoretical use case. Now, let me take you to where we've actually applied this in London in the UK. So I'll set the scene for you. So the London Metro essentially had a problem which was twofold. One, firstly, they wanted to reduce their carbon footprint. Second, they had a lot of commuters that were coming from the suburban areas all the way into the city centre. And they didn't have the infrastructure to be able to support that much volume of commuters on the road. So they wanted to find a solution on how they would reduce the CO2 emissions, as well as how they would reduce the number of vehicles on the road. So they introduced a park and ride mechanism. So those here would be familiar with it. Essentially, they would invest in infrastructure where the suburban commuters could look at parking their vehicles in the suburban area and travel all the way into the city centre. Now, there was two problems they had to look at. First, how much were people willing to pay, and what would be the most cost effective? So we use the digital rehearsals using the social digital twin to understand what price point would we have to put that was first not too expensive that people wouldn't want to pay for it, and what wasn't too cheap that wouldn't support the infrastructure and then have too many commuters parking there. So by finding the right price point using the digital rehearsal, we were able to reduce 9% of cars on the road that were commuting during business hours and work days, which resulted in a 12% CO2 emission reduction during those work days. So this is all well and good when you're applying an AI use case to an application, but it doesn't matter how good the solution is or the application if data isn't accurate and you haven't got a strong data hygiene. So I'll raise the question, who is happy at their organization with their existing data management and data hygiene? Raise your hand. Oh, some very unhappy people in the room right now, I think. Okay, so luckily, I will hand to my colleague, Kun Po, who will actually talk around how you can establish your digital foundation and improve upon your data hygiene for more sustainable data management. Kun Po, please say away.
Thank you. Okay. Actually put the data as a part of the solution, right? So you can see that how important the data hygiene. So, but the way we have the good data is not easy, right? You have to put a lot of money, a lot of efforts on some inaccuracy data with some inefficiency operations or methodology. So you may miss your target ROI. So let's make it success. You have to create the digital foundations, beginning from a data platform, start from the data ingestions, how you can get the right data from the right source, data storage with good enough security, easy and effective applications, and also including to the data engineering, data warehousing, and reporting. And with the analytics capability from some AI, so you have to implement AI, you may require some predictive AI, generative AI, and many more. So that is really huge challenge to you, right? So that's where Fujitsu Data Intelligence Platform as a Service comes, or we just call the DIPaaS. It's a cloud-based with an all-in-one platform. It provides a unified data management system to ensure your data security, accuracy, and compliance. In the data platform, you can customize your own templates with the premium solutions, or just a basic using some pre-configured standard template. And let the data be analyzed by our AI, Fujitsu Kosushi. The AI capability, they have many AI capabilities, so you can see that it have the generative AI, vision AI, text AI, trust AI, predictive and analytic AI, explainable AI, and auto machine learning. So the platform is a out-of-the-box, all-in-one template. So it could provide you a shortened time to start sustainability data analytics project. And also it could reduce the development effort by using our pre-built AI template. Other than that, it enables your business reader to more easy on understand report, better in tracking and manage your organization carbon footprint. So you can see that how much important on the data intelligence, but the way data storage is also important. So I will pass you next to Billy, who will take you more further on how the data storage solutions.
Honored get to see everyone. Yeah, so I'd like to share that Fujitsu and NetApp has been partnering to help our customers solve their most complex data challenge since the last 26 years. Today, as our customers actually embark on their AI projects, it's very important for us to help our customers manage vast amount of data. How can we help our customers to feed fresh data into their AI model in a cost-efficient and sustainable manner? Well, that is where NetApp has a unique. Thank you. NetApp is the only storage vendor that actually partners with AWS, Google Cloud, and Microsoft Azure to offer our storage technology in the public cloud. Because of this strategic partnership with the hyperscalers, we are able to leverage on cache technology to help our customers with their AI project in a sustainable manner. What do I mean? If our customers actually choose to have their CPUs and GPUs in the public cloud because it's more efficient, they can actually access our data that is seated on premises using our caching technology. So Kun Paul has mentioned about the DI pass. If the DI pass is like a Pandora box to your AI projects and initiative, then NetApp is really like that door opener that helps you to access the data in a different environment, even as your CPUs and GPUs are in the public cloud. This is not just the only example on how NetApp can help you. So at the data layer, NetApp has a data classification and categorization feature. We are able to identify where your stale data is, where your non-business data is, and where are some of the data that are replicated a second time. In fact, 68% of our customers' data is not accessed a second time. This gives us a lot of opportunity to reduce the amount of data footprint that is sitting in your on-premises environment or in your cloud. For data that is not accessed a second time, we could even consider moving it from an expensive storage array to a least expensive option like an object store, for example. Sustainability is one of the key challenges that our customers face, but that is not all. I think we see a lot that our customers are facing issues with data regulations and compliance. And so with our classification technology, we are also able to automate the compliance process. We're able to identify where the personal identifiable information sits in our customer's environment. In addition to that, we are also able to identify where are some of the security vulnerabilities that are being caused by your internal users. This will reduce the likelihood of a data breach. And finally, at the data infrastructure layer, NetApp has what we call the NetApp Sustainability Dashboard that allows our customers to provide ESG reports that are really bespoke based on what our customers think are key performance metrics when it comes to sustainability. We're able to measure what the power output is. We're able to measure what is the carbon emission that is being caused by your IT environment on premises and in the cloud. We can do and generate this report with you, the daily cadence, at a monthly cadence, and even at a quarterly cadence. Collecting all these informations of your systems on NetApp and non-NetApp, we are able to then give you recommendations on how you can reduce your carbon emissions that is being caused by NetApp storage systems, as well as other storage systems that you guys might be using. So with all of that, these are ultimately just some features and tools that you guys can consider. But how can we work together to translate these features into business outcomes for your customers, for our customers? That is where we can actually find out more at the booth that is located on the far left of the hall to find out how Fujitsu and NetApp can partner with you to help you with your sustainability challenges. And with that, Lane, what would you say is the key takeaway from this segment of our experience track?
So I think the key takeaway is hopefully now there's a bit more transparency and visibility on how you can leverage technology to enable and protect the planet. We've seen a few solutions, the social digital twin and how we can leverage digital rehearsals with environmental and social elements to reduce and identify opportunities for carbon reduction, which will ultimately reduce our cost. Secondly, we've talked around digital data hygiene and how we can establish that foundation to enable better data-driven decision-making based on the siloed environment within your organization, and how that can be ingested to help support make valued decisions. Lastly, we've talked around how we can optimize our storage so that we can not only deduplicate data and unnecessarily, but reduce that volume, overall reducing your storage power consumption, saving your organization money, and obviously improving your overall carbon footprint. So I hope that's been interesting, and that's how we harness technology for environmental impact.